key feature is the consultative process that allows for exchange of ideas between states and civil society stakeholders across geographic regions. Through the GFMD, the relationship between states and civil society has matured. We have become partners, often with shared goals, and many of these are echoed in the civil society's 5-year 8-point action plan. And I want to take a moment to reflect on this partnership and how it is manifested in what we have achieved together these past 18 months. Sweden has had 3 key priorities for our chairmanship. The first has been greater policy coherence on migration. And during Sweden's chairmanship of the GFMD, states, civil society and international organizations collaborated to prepare for the UN high-level dialogue on migration and development. And we've also been involved in preparations for the Cairo 20+ International Conference on Population and Development. As partners, we have worked hard to ensure that the post-2015 International Development Agenda recognizes migration as a driving force for inclusive human development. And increasingly, that same message is echoed by governments and the broader international community around the world. A fact acknowledged by the UN Secretary General when he recognized the importance of the GFMB process and called for migration to be included in the post-2015 development agenda at the high-level dialogue in New York last year. A second priority for the Swedish share has been to harness migration for economic development through better skills matching, engaging the private sector in discussions on migration policy, and to acknowledge the economic contributions of the diaspora. During the chairmanship of ours, we have engaged civil society, governments, international organizations and the private sector to encourage an exchange of views, to appreciate what is working and to understand what can be improved. Our ambition has been to use that knowledge to build more trust, stronger processes and systems that not only facilitate protection for vulnerable migrants, but also to create the synergies necessary for inclusive development. A third priority has been to harness migration for inclusive social development. As chair of the GFMB, Sweden has actively reached out to diaspora organizations globally to ensure that migrants themselves have a voice and that they are empowered to act. It is important to give migrants an expert voice on issues that directly affect them. And their input is needed, it is necessary, as they have added advantage of speaking from both country of origin and destination perspective. In this respect, it has been encouraging to see that the role and importance of diasporas was center stage at the IOM's conference last year. Members of the diaspora has also been invited to address the UN high-level dialogue and the GFMB thematic meetings. As chair, Sweden has seized the opportunity not only to engage globally on migration and development issues, which has been a priority for us for many years. We have also seen this as an opportunity to discuss the development impact of migration at home. In Sweden, we have collaborated with civil society in a seminar series in the capital, the far north and west of the country, to inform and to initiate a dialogue connecting discussions about migration and integration with the global debate on migration. We have provided support to the African diaspora in Sweden, Norway, Finland and Denmark to form the first Nordic working group on migration and development, which will be launched tomorrow on May the 13th. Their objective as members of the diaspora is to positively influence the migration debate in home and host countries by raising awareness about migrants as social and economic entrepreneurs. In addition, we felt the absence of a youth perspective in our discussions on migration. Youth statistically are more likely to move than adults, and with growing youth populations in emerging countries and economies and the global south, we wanted to involve young people as partners in our dialogue. We joined forces with the UNICEF, Société and the National Council of Swedish Youth Organizations, and as a result, the Sweden Youth Group on Migration and Development was formed. On the 20 youths representing an ethnically diverse group, 6 has been selected to participate during the breakout sessions in the common space. And this pilot initiative has been a rewarding experience for us as we begin to see our world through their eyes and the opportunities that they see through mobility. At the same time, young people's engagement for human rights protection and solidarity with more vulnerable groups reminds us all as governments and as adults of responsibilities that we share when we ensure that when people move, they should do so because they want to, and it should be without risk of their lives or to the lives of their loved ones. We have worked to strengthen the development focus of the DFMB discussions by encouraging the engagement of development practitioners, both in the government part and in the civil society part of the DFMB process. As an example, we initiated an expert network globally made up of academics and policy practitioners to seek their input into our background papers. And we launched an online discussions with experts. Our aim was to broaden the involvement of civil society and academia with policy practitioners at the national level. Our joint efforts resulted in a greatly expanded database, as well as creating opportunities for national level dialogues between different sectors. Reminiscent of the importance of common space while being mindful of the need for states to have opportunities for interaction amongst themselves, we have strengthened the format of common space and increased the time allotted this year. And we hope that this extended session will result in greater opportunities for interaction between states, civil society and private sector participants. It is clear now, after 8 years of working together, but we all care greatly that migration and mobility is acknowledged as a driver of development. We may come at this from different angles, but we can all agree that migration and mobility is important from the perspective of individuals, states and private sectors' interests. Taking our different perspectives as a starting point and acknowledging that this is a strength, I believe that we can now move forward together nationally as well as internationally to address the challenges that remain. This week of the Global Forum is a culmination of months of work between civil society, international organizations and governments to improve the global governance of migration and to harness the economic and social development potential that migration offers. These are important matters that must be given proper space for a balanced discussion. In this room, we need to stand together on the important issues. We have come this far together because we have been able to develop a shared vision. Often we have similar goals. Even if our processes sometimes differ, they are complementary and compelling enough to make change happen. The clearest evidence of this is how our priorities aligned for the high-level dialogue last year, when the call for migration in the post-2015 International Development Agenda was echoed by governments and civil societies alike. And this is our joint success. After our chairmanship, Sweden will continue to work together with all DFMB stakeholders as part of a troika and as a committed participant in the DFMB process. I feel privileged that Sweden has had the opportunity to share the DFMB at this defining moment in time. So many international processes have converged to shine a spotlight on human mobility and international development. It is an honor to have worked together with all of you to unlock the enabling effects of migration and development. Sweden welcomes a continued close and constructive collaboration with civil society to ensure that the gains that we have made, the relationships that we have built and the needs that we have acknowledged remain the focus of our work going forward. I wish you all the best for a fruitful discussion and look forward to welcoming you at the opening ceremony in Common Space on Wednesday. Thank you very much.